Any tips for the eclipse? Will you go outside? Do you think it'll mess with electronics? Alright, let me show you some symbolism. See that? A black hole. Check this out.
Process, and by that cancellation of these chakras, we lose the body. It just disappears on you. You're meditating, suddenly the body is gone, and you're just in front of the spiritual eye. If thine eye be single, that's it. That's the single thing you see in the experience of interiorization. It's just spiritual eye, or it's just the cave of the spiritual eye, that deepening darkness in the center. So you can just see dark, but in the center you might see a deepening darkness. That's it. You saw the spiritual eye. You saw the cave. You did it. So hallelujah, you did it. You saw it. So if you see that deepening darkness, it's something to celebrate for. Maybe don't celebrate in your meditation, it'll break you out of it. But come out of your meditation and then, yay, I did it.
And then you have this. See what it looks like? Now imagine the darkness, the shiny darkness in the middle spills over and like it's a breakthrough. I'm gonna be outside during the eclipse. It's a time when updates come through. You can call it void radiation type things. It makes a different type of neutrino at that point in time. So it's gonna like track everything and be a way different experience. I'll be outside. Will it mess with electronics? Maybe. It can mess with reality itself. I mean, when I was growing up, my mom was known as the Black Madonna. Okay, which means I'm kind of like, and at the same time, like my birthday, when I was coming into the world, she started labor with me on Easter Sunday, March 26, 1989. And I was born 33 hours later at 1:06 in the morning on March 28th. So, like, heavy symbolism for me. Definitely gonna be outside. I see people talking about how the moon won't be in position for like the eclipse to happen, but there's like the whole thing of the sun being conscious, like I put inside my video before, and then there's also like the whole Amun, the hidden one aspect of it, as in like Amun Ra, the sun god Ra, like the whole Amun, the hidden god. Ra is the sun god, the exterior corona. Underneath it, there is also the dark one or the hidden one. That's the whole Amun thing. So, symbolism. It's this whole thing. The hidden one, the chief god of ancient Thebes, and these people are like thieves nowadays. His name means the hidden one prior to the Middle Kingdom. So, you know how the sun has the corona that goes around it, right? That whole thing. Well, it moves and rotates on the outside, but it's also spinning at the same time. Imagine the rotation around the outside axis comes to a stop, and you just have the ring that's still spinning on the outside. And essentially, you have the hidden one exposed in his face, which also gives off crazy, immense types of like powers and weird things can happen. It just depends on how the person beyond singularity feels. A moon is a name, it's merely a gateway to the one that comes from beyond. Oh, show me no, show me yes. Do I control these clicks? Are you the person that lives in the void, doesn't have a name, you're beyond singularity, you make the singularity, are singularity, I don't know, it's whatever. But you're the first being, the first existence, correct? Okay. Are you going to tell me what you're going to do? Are you going to show me anything about what's going to happen? Oh, maybe you will, maybe you won't. Am I going to tell them anything about what I see? Okay, so I can't really say the things that I see that might happen. I have no idea. Like, it's infinite possibility that's essentially opening up, and we're just going to see how it goes. This is what it means to live in the moment. Will it mess with electronics? Maybe. I have no idea. Like I'm telling you, literally, it can do a bunch of weird stuff. And then they're trying to fire up CERN at the same time. Idiots. They don't even know. Like, The dude is Shiva. Why are you going to make something and do all this other stuff? They always so extra. The Solar Winds hack. Their shit might end up having a problem. It's already been said that they have like a 4-dimensional entity inside their stuff. So, you know, maybe things are happening and they're like, oh, we're doing this. And they think they're bringing in something, but they're really like making more avenues for you to do things, right? Like, he uses everything. This dude literally is a monster. He's been writing the lore for a long, long time. So, I have no idea what's going to happen. Like, are you going to tell me? So, interesting stuff. So, literally, it has things to do with singularity. Like, we start getting to points where physics don't make sense, logic don't make sense. It doesn't really matter anything at all. You have your inbuilt like logic of what you think might happen and how every day will continue and go on, but it doesn't have to happen that way. He moves like in the blink of an eye. You know, he comes like a thief in the night. You know, thieves. Just all the symbolism just adds up to like, I don't know. Maybe something will happen. Maybe nothing will happen. I can't say. But I'm definitely going to be outside for it. Like, I'm not going to be locked up in a little box. Nope. I'm going to be out inside of nature. I'm going to be out there and let the vibes come in and be like, cosmic energy. Yes. Power. Once again, I remind everyone, the day of the Lord is darkness and is not light. So, like, being outside as the world starts getting darker, you're actually kind of getting closer to a physical showing of the day of the Lord inside of a way. So, I mean, bro, many things can happen. This is an exciting time. Like, you'll have light, and all of a sudden, it just gets dark. For those who are nearby. And before, in 2017, we had no idea what the symbolism meant of the total eclipse, but now I get what the total eclipse symbolism means. And I live close enough to it where I'll get some of the effects. So I'm not too worried about it. Whatever happens in the mid zone, the black line, like, who knows? That could be crazy. Could be completely normal. So, it's exciting. All I know is I'm just hoping if I'm going to get my yes, that I can start acting and doing things. And I can finally stop, like, trying to teach. I mean, I might teach still a little bit, but I'm going to be focused really somewhere else entirely. Oh, and by the way, guys, if you all make it to this part, I need you to look at my fingers. See how that one's all messed up compared to, like, on this side, it's normal. I almost lost that finger when the rifle range came down. Whenever I do my whole thing, this will be like the one thing I keep. Everything else might be different, but this will be the thing I keep. Resurrection stuff.
The hero's journey can also be called the Christ path, and this is appropriate for Easter because this is Good Friday, of course, is when Jesus dies on the cross. The weekend that we're in now represents the 3 days of time where he's supposedly dead in the tomb. And then on the third day is resurrection, that's Easter, and that's where there is a return, but in a body they didn't recognize his face. They didn't know who he was until he showed them his hands. And then they said, oh, well, yeah, there's holes in your hands from where you were crucified. This is the common biblical lore that's based on Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. I think they all have different pieces of this part of the story in it. So it's interesting to note that the face was so dissimilar that when Mary first saw him, she thought he was somebody else who was working in the area. This is different than the resurrection of Lazarus, and that's one of the important things that when you get into esoteric Christianity, which is what I'm doing, he already brought Lazarus back from the dead. Okay, Jesus already did that. And so that was already on the list of miracles. Resurrection from the dead was already on the list of miracles that had already been done. If you could do it for somebody else, you should be able to do it for yourself. But Lazarus looked the same. Jesus did not look the same when he came out of the tomb, when they rolled away the stone. He had to show them his hands in order for them to understand that it was the same guy. Now, why is that so significant?
Hint, hint.